I'm not even gonna do my intro. I have never taken a 180 on a movie ever in my entire life. There is no intro for this video. I don't give a single F. I don't. I really don't. We're getting right into this today because the TCM trailer looks like this movie could maybe be one of the best since the original. Fight me. Fight me, internet. That's what I say. I am so excited to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre today that I'm not even going to tell you to like this video. I'm not even going to tell you to subscribe. And I'm not going to tell you that my name's KillJoy Jake and I don't have any effing friends or that I just have horror movies. I'm not even going to say that today because that is how excited I am about the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre freaking trailer. Okay, let's get into this. Let's just start talking about it. Okay, so first things first. This very beginning of this trailer, there's this really creepy shot. We see this van, this police van, and she drives right into this like tractor right in the middle of nowhere, like this whatever, and it crashes. We have this girl, and she's looking out. She's covered in blood already, probably because she was being stalked by Leatherface. This is probably our opening kill, is my guess. I mean, that's maybe I'm guessing that because of how the trailer is structured. But my guess here is that like she's already been being chased by Leatherface at the beginning of this. She gets like her head cut off in a second here because she sticks her head out the window and then like she hears Leatherface. That would be a pretty sick kill, man. And then we see Leatherface stick his head up out of all of these like dead plants. I said corn. I said corn in my little initial trailer reaction video thing that I just made, but I don't know what they're like. Dandelion, they're like old sunflowers or something that are like just dying, and it's super creepy looking and disgusting. And I want to point this out because I think it's very funny. I actually really like the new Leatherface design. It's clearly like an old man Leatherface kind of look, but does anybody else notice that he kind of looks like the killer from Too Many Cooks? I'm gonna put that up on screen and side by side comparison, but I just thought that would be kind of funny. He looks very similar to that killer, and I have no complaints. I mean, I think Leatherface looks really scary and disgusting. He looks a little like droopy, but that kind of adds to it a little bit with this, because it's like he's supposed to be wearing someone else's face on his face. So like, yeah, that's gonna be all messed up and gross. I love it. Looks great. Next thing I noticed was in the shot where we actually kind of meet some of our like new teen characters. They're driving a Tesla into a middle of nowhere Texas town, which is not a good idea if you're a Tesla driver. I have done a lot of research into buying a Tesla because I've been thinking about it, but like, if you live somewhere like that, or if you live somewhere where there's a lot of snow like me, there's no point in buying a Tesla. Like those cars were designed to be driven in like California, and that's pretty much it, which sucks because I think they're awesome. The Model S is like my favorite car ever. A white Model S is what I want to drive. That would be my dream car right there. But there's just no point in owning one if you live like in the snow or in the middle of nowhere, because there's no charging stations. And then we see them at a gas station, which is like one of my only complaints about the trailer is that it's like, what are these guys doing? Where are they gonna charge their vehicle? They're screwed. They get into Harlow and maybe they just don't. Maybe they can't leave. Maybe that's why our main characters are stuck in this town, because they don't realize there's no charging ports in Harlow, Texas. That's kind of funny. Honestly, if that's your reason to keep them in the town, I'm all for it. I'm totally down. But the next part of this whole video is kind of what goes against that. It appears that they have this like party bus, which is a big something I want to talk about later, something that maybe actually visibly stand up and start screaming, because I was so excited to see this scene in a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. We're gonna get to all that later on in the video, and you're gonna see a 23-year-old man geek out about horror movies real bad. I'm guessing this new business venture thing, which is something that they've been keeping a secret. I've been talking about that in some of my past updates. I'm guessing it's going to be that they're gonna run a party bus in the middle of nowhere in Harlow, Texas, which sounds like a horrible business venture, which is what makes these characters great to be in a horror movie. They're not all that intelligent, which is awesome. I'm loving everything about this, and I can't wait to talk about the party bus in a second, but that's what I'm guessing this new business venture, the synopsis, was telling us about. Now, there's then a bunch of scenes of them exploring Leatherface's house, the Sawyer household, and they get yelled at by Mama Sawyer saying, "Hey, why are you in my house? What's going on?" And then one of them runs into Leatherface, and then we kind of have a kill spoiled. Like, there's the hammer death that we see, which is like, that was maybe a bit much. A scene of Leatherface just going like this with a hammer and not seeing who he kills, okay. But like part of the suspense of a slasher film is seeing who dies and who doesn't. I mean, most of the time it's everybody, except like the final girl. But like, come on, let us have a little suspense with your slasher movie. But they kind of showed us one of the kills, so that I was like, maybe they shouldn't have showed that. But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. The next thing I want to talk about is Sally Hardesty basically being Laurie Strode in this timeline, which like, I'm sure there's going to be some complaints about that because of the similarities to Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, but it doesn't really bother me because I think it's going to be cool to see Sally Hardesty being like a badass this time around, opposed to her just kind of like being terrified and being petrified by being sitting at this table with all these cannibals, which I'm okay with it. I'm going to say right now I'm okay with if they take the Laurie Strode route with her character, because I think it would be cool to see like her character just turn into a badass. But like that's just so much more interesting to watch on screen than someone who's just petrified by fear. It's scary at first to have that. To, like, if you want to set up your final girl like that, like we're in the first act, maybe the second act as well, they're petrified with fear. They have no idea what to do. But then in the third act, they turn into a badass. And that's kind of essentially what this movie is like the third act of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre story, if you look at just the first movie and this one, which is essentially what this movie is trying to do. So that's why I'm okay with it. That's more interesting to watch on screen. The best example of that is Barbara in the original Night of the Living Dead versus the 1990s Night of the Living Dead. It's such a better portrayal of the character. No offense to the original actress, which it's not her fault, it's just the way it was written. It's like, it's so much more interesting to see a badass final girl on screen than one that's just kind of sitting in the corner crying and freaking out. You know what I mean? Like that's my biggest argument there, which is why 1990s Barbara wins every day over the original. No offense to original Barbara. She's iconic and amazing just as well, but 1990s Barbara kills it. There's this line where Sally Hardesty says to our new girl, I'm assuming like the pass the torch new final girl, the younger character, where Sally Hardesty says to her, it looks like it's you that he wants. So maybe I like the idea of Leatherface. Don't change the mythos around Leatherface. Like Leatherface just wants to eat, man. That's what I'm hoping they do with this. I hope they don't expand off of that, because if it gets a little too complicated, I don't know if I'm gonna be digging that. I liked the simplicity of they're just cannibals and they just want to eat. Like that's kind of messed up to me, and I like that. I hope that honestly that it's just Leatherface. He sees her and he's like, hey, looks like some good porterhouse right there. You know, that's what I hope his intentions are. Something messed up like that, and that it's literally like he just wants to eat you. That's it. Like there's nothing more to it than that. Because if it starts getting more complicated than that, and we start explaining some BS about Leatherface, I'm not into that. I like the mystery more. I like horror villains are best when they're written simply. Like that's how I feel about it. If you start making all this complex like stuff about how he can't die and all that, like there was a touch of that with that line. That I was getting those vibes just a little bit, that maybe they were gonna add on to his character and stuff. I kind of just like the simplicity of Leatherface being a crazy cannibal in the middle of Texas who cuts up and eats people. Let's just keep it that way. And I think that's the way they're gonna go, but there is definitely that worry in the back of my head. But I for the most part, I'm super impressed with this trailer. Like very, very impressed, especially because my expectations have been so low. There's been all these production issues. I'm sure you've heard me talk many times about how the original directors were fired. We had new people coming aboard. I'm gonna be honest, this trailer looks awesome. And then the biggest thing from it that impressed me more than anything was this last scene where we have Leatherface standing in the rain and this party bus drives by and he somehow gets into the party bus and starts revving up a chainsaw. All the kids that are on this bus start videoing them, and this one guy up front says, try anything and you'll get canceled, bro. Leatherface doesn't know about cancel culture. He doesn't give a single shit. Man's been eating people since the 70s. This guy's about to cut up everybody on this bus and fucking murder all of them in one big massacre scene. Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's fucking go, baby! Holy shit! This is gonna be so good. This is gonna be so good. I don't care what anyone says. This video is gonna be, oh god. This movie's gonna be so good. This movie's gonna be so good. Oh, that's the scene I want to see so bad. Oh, I have talked about this in the past where I just love seeing slasher villains get to kill like 30, 40 people all in one go. That is the best shit that you can put in a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I gotta calm down, dude. I am literally so excited for this film. This is about to blow everything else out of the water, I think, honestly. Maybe I need to calm down, but I have nothing but high expectations for this film. I have done a complete 180 on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This could be one of the best films in the entire franchise. I'm just saying it right now. It's not just because of that scene. I'm very excited to see that scene on the party bus, and I bet that's gonna be awesome. It's given me major, like, that Freddy versus Jason vibes when he's going through the cornfield and he comes into that party. Jason starts murdering everybody. That's a great scene. I love that. Piranha 3D, the beginning of the third act with that film. It's the same thing. It's like so much death. It's so much chaos. I love it. I love scenes like that in horror films. Another great example is Hellraiser 3, the nightclub scene. That's terrifying, man. I love scenes like this where you can just display all these gory and disgusting kills all in one go. It's just... oh, those are some of my favorite horror films that have a scene like this. I thought it was gonna be good. You know, I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be a little better than we expected. I mean, we got the team behind Don't Breathe and not the original Evil Dead, the remake of the Evil Dead, producing this. So I was thinking, okay, you know, those guys are pretty dang good. They know how to make a good horror movie. I mean, that Evil Dead remake is phenomenal, and the Don't Breathe movies are also great. I was expecting this film to be like just okay and like it'll have their touch, so it'll still be good, but no, this film is about to go fucking hard. What do you guys think about the new Texas Chainsaw? Were you as impressed with the trailer as I was? Are you excited for February 18th when this thing drops? Because oh my god, I am gonna be watching this thing at midnight, I think. I'm so excited to see this film. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment about it down below. Thank you all so much for watching this new video where I kind of loosely break down the new TCM trailer in a very crazy and I don't even know. I'm going insane right now. My head's going back and forth in my skull right now, and it's just gonna be mush by the end of the day. Don't forget to support me on Patreon if possible. The link for that will be in the description below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to help this page grow as well. Because if you don't want to support me and give me money, you can just subscribe. That would be pretty sick. Thank you all again for watching, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.